Antonio Alves is a contactee experiencer. He's from Portugal, and his story starts at childhood. We've got a lot to cover. This is a two-part interview. The Fatima information is in part two.
This doesn't start with me. My mother, my aunt, my uncle, my grandmother, now my daughter, they keep running the family.
I'm glad you were able to write the book. I like the fact that you, as you were reading your pages and walking along, that you were contacted with the beings right above you. Like, you can't miss that.
Yeah. That is why I call my mission, That's I think they want that I make to tell the people they are here thousand. This is not you, this start with Eric von Däniken, but I got that mission too, And I believe there was thousand people have that mission too,
His book is Gods or Civilizations from the Stars. He started researching when he had his first encounter as a teenager and hasn't stopped. And the encounters haven't stopped. The book is available on Amazon and on his Instagram account.
Let's start from the beginning. With your family, what was it like for you to discover that this was going on?
Okay, I just discovered that real late. I was 40, when I was 45 or more. This is what, because my mother, even see all the things happen with me, like paralyzed and sort of things. She tried to deny everything, because I was a kid and I live in the small village, less than 1,000 people. Everybody knows everybody. So it's not real nice. And when that thing started happening with me, when I saw the first light, I didn't know the word UFO, because we have just one channel in Portugal, and it's a government channel that time. The second channel just from 1994, something like that. And where that this is when my uncle, my aunt, they start talking about things happen. They start talking about the paralyzed things about my grandmother. And this is at that moment I start realize this is not beginning with me, but this is real back. I don't know, maybe grandmother, maybe. This is the side of my mother family,
The sighting you had that you talked about as a teenager, 1978 or 79, a white light in the sky, you're 12 years old, and there's the light,
yeah.
And that's kind of when you get a clue. Would you say that's fair?
Yes. This is, okay, I can tell you how the things happen. My parents, they still have a farm, and they have a lot of olives in that time. And I tell for my friends, okay, we go dinner, this is winter time. I go eat, and we go back in the club, and say, okay, after I eat, I just walk in between the olive trees, and that moment, they have no light, so everything is dark. I saw a big, bright light, white, real big. It must be, there is above the trees, and there must be 4 or 5 trees. That thing is above. And I just looked at, and I said, and I thinking after a while, I don't know, a couple of seconds, minutes, I said, I must go real run and call my friend. And I just go and get in. And when we kids, we go run for that place. And I tell, I see a white light. But when it was there was not any more white light. There was the orange, and they move real slow above the trees, and no noise at all. And we just keep looking that light until it appears in the sky, And but there was real slow, no noise at all. We look each other. We even doesn't know, like I said, UFO word. You can imagine. We call light. This was called light for a while. After a couple of months, my friends saw in the newspaper something happened in Spain, and there was in Portugal, in Spain is the Portuguese OVNI, and okay, from now on, we call OVNI for that thing, But after stuff, the things start changed. They changed me at all. You can imagine a kid with 11, 12 years old starting interested about the religions, ancient civilizations, ancient how they building the stuff, the pyramids and all that. And this is when I start write the book. With 12 years when I start write the book. I start take parts from the Bible and another ancient text. And the most of the time, I even don't know what I'm doing. It looks like something is on me, and I just take. I want to take parts from the Bible. They look like what I saw, and they must make sense. This is from the space, not from this planet.
You're going with a frame of reference that you have because you've seen it. And you're not just imagining, you're not just trying to create it because of somebody else telling you. You've seen it.
Everything that happened, even the mothership, Men in Black, Missing Time, just 1988, 89, when I come to the United States first time, 1987. I was living in Connecticut. And that time, I enjoyed the UFO. And that is when we have the meeting, and I start listening to people. They have not the same things happen, but it's real close. And this is when the time I start giving names, Well, I'm not giving the name, but I learned, okay, they call this Missing Time, they call this Men in Black, but
Yeah.
Mothership, I don't know nothing, We don't, like I said, we have just one government channel, we don't want nothing.
When you were a kid, though, you also remembered waking up at night and seeing things and basically being afraid and telling your mom. And not only that, having that sense of being frozen when you're immobilized, you can't move. And so here you are trying to figure out what's happening. And that you were saying that mom just kind of didn't really address it, denied it.
She tried denying for what we talked about with another people. And I don't know nothing, because she don't want.
Okay.
But for us, because but what she think it was, it's like I don't know, devil or some bad spirits and something like that. If I don't know, maybe she doesn't know either. That she take that to the religion stuff, not really. I like the paralyzed. They happen so many times. My mother got a little sofa in the my parents' bedroom because when I feel free, I can move and I just run away and go to the bed, my parents' bedroom and stay over there. You can imagine all the things that I don't say this every week, but looks like there was not. I don't say normal, but they happen a lot of times. So my mother did that.
It's like, okay, here's the other bed. See you at night. Don't wake me up. We're trying to sleep.
And when the things start right away, because everything start happen, I know I have that feeling that the relation there was something about that life I felt, and that when they start happen, and they still now the last February they happen. This to me, it's a call. It doesn't matter where you be, you start feeling I must move. Must go for some place. I know exactly what the place is.
Yeah.
Normal in that area, you have a lot of like cromlechs and dolmens, like the Stone Age stuff, but in small. And in that area, we have a lot, and that is the place I walking or go by bicycle when I was a kid. Now I go by car or depend how far away that thing is. And I got just a call, and I stay over there. Just look at the sky, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes, half hour. And after that, I have that feeling like, okay, just go. You don't stay here anymore, just go. And I'm just walking. And if I tell 98%, not, as far as I know, nothing happened, And that 2%, there happened something over there, I see and things happen, But this still in my life, I have that feeling I must walking for that someplace.
I can understand that, and that I have that same sense. And that there's this thing, though, that in their own way, they're trying to keep it at a dull roar as opposed to a in-your-face, frightening, overwhelming experience. So my own sense is that you're still getting information. You're still getting something that is useful. It just may not be a conscious and more of a subconscious, a subliminal cue, because then when you're remembering things, you're seeing a film or a movie or an event, and all of a sudden there's that memory that bleeds through. It was triggered And I do think it's intentional. Whatever it is, when we are asked to go a certain place, there's a message or a lesson or information, whether we're conscious in that moment, I think is the challenge, because some people are more maybe socialized or indoctrinated into being able to handle the information, or it's too much, it's overwhelming at the time, and so it comes out in small bits and pieces when it's triggered. That's my own the way I work with it.
Sometimes the information I got it. I don't understand the information until the thing happens.
Yeah.
It's like a dream. Sometimes I have now it's less than before. Some dreams, and I tell my friends, "Oh, this thing will happen." But I have another dream. I just can't. Oh, the dream is about that. There was not real the message real direct. We must see what actually happened. So I understand that dream.
Do you think that there are sometimes you do get specific information about ongoing things that we experience in our day to day, like a premonition or a precognitive kind of information?
Yes, but that kind of thing doesn't. It's not really important. Especially when I tell my friends when I was a kid, like a soccer game, I said, what is the score? It's this, or something like. There was a nice day. And say, next day there will be a storm, and even this day they'll say nothing on TV, and that thing happens. It's something that does make much sense, But what I think is this is what they did. So I feel okay. We still look at you. We don't forget you. I think the dream is about that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to say this is real. You're not imagining it. This is real.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, so you have you've seen what they look like, or at least the ones who appear to you. What was that like?
I saw three different. Well, I don't go many in class what I saw about ibis, but for another I saw the shadows, the tall ones, the gray tall ones, the small grays, and the insectoid type. This is the four different I saw in my life.
Do you hear them? Is it telepathic or it sounds that make sense?
Yes, I did. Well, 2006, because before this book, I have in Portuguese. The book in Portuguese, they come October 2nd, 2010. And 2006, I was called, and I just walked for one place. And that time, when I was there, it was real dark. It must be 11 p.m., 12. And I look at the sky, and I was a little confused because I know some constellations, and I can figure out anyone. It looks like real strange, the sky. And that moment, I saw about 2 meters from me, 4 shadows. There was one tall, 2 small ones, and another one tall. And I think telepathic, the tall one from my left side. And I always, when I walk in, I take the papers. Now I use the book, but the papers, I'd be writing down the notes. And I have that paper, then say, look, this looks like a little crazy, but what I'm doing with this, and I come in my mind right away that, and I'm pretty sure there was the guy the left side, and he said, I will be met somebody, and with that woman, they will be helping me and finish the book. And after that, when I look again, I can see in the shadow, everything is gone. And after a couple of months, I met some woman. Matter of fact, later this will be my wife. Now it's my ex-wife, and we got a daughter. And really, she helped me a lot, especially in the computer stuff and the phone calls. She helped me all the time, and that thing will happen, with that.
Yeah.
And about the another one with the insectoid, this just happened with the. I don't know if you know, there was a famous Brazilian research, Dr. Gilda Moura. She was working with John Mack a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I met her, and one day in the meeting of APO, with the Portuguese UFO Association. We figured out one day for be do the exploration. I did. What I saw in the exploration, I was on the table. First, in the beginning, I was just walking on the road, and I saw that light. And this is everything by exploration because I don't remember that nothing. It's just exploration did that. When I saw that light and another step, I was already on the table, lay down on the table. They have the two tall ones, gray ones, a little far away from me, and they have two small ones, real close to my head. Matter of fact, one of them, sometimes they look so close to my face and go back again. And when I go back again to creation, I asked to Gilda why that gray did that. And she said, it's because for you be calm down, don't be stressed, everything will be all right. Well, in that moment, they come another being with a dark robe. What I feel is when you go inside the room, and I said the two tall ones, they back up a little bit. They just step back. And they look like it's the boss, that place over there. And he just walked, look at me, look for the small gray, look at me again, just turn and just walk away. And there was an insectoid type.
So that the one in the robe is the insectoid?
Yeah, it's insectoid. In that room, there was two tall ones, gray, and two small gray, and that's insectoid. But he just be over there, I don't know the time but they were real quick. They just look at me and that's it. But I remember my legs it's open, and they have a yellow light all up from the feet till my genital. It's covered with a yellow light.
When you're in the room with them, I'm assuming this is for some kind of a checkup, an observation, some kind of a physical encounter that they're doing specimen research or whatever.
Yes, and that time, for what I saw in the creation, I must be a kid about 12, 13 years old, no more than that. I was a kid.
The other thing I remember from another interview you did, that you saw other children on the ship when you were there.
There was another time. When I was in that kind of unlocked memories, you don't remember nothing. But
yes.
If somebody says something or something happened, you start remember things. You can say there was real happen, but the truth is I never forget. It's like the brain. I remember it's real cool. And I was in the meeting. The president of APL called me and said, Dr. Gilda, this is when I met Dr. Gilda. She come to Lisbon and she go make she go talk about the adoptees. So you want to tell them? I said, okay, I'm go. This because they have a meeting every Saturday in the 7 p.m. until 12:30 in the morning. And I was there. I was just sitting with my ex-wife, and I have already my child, the girl, and I'm just listening. And they make like a break, like between 9 quarter after 9 p.m. And when I walk, I wasn't even talk with Gilda yet. When I walk outside, I have that unlocked memory. And what I remember is I was walking. I am inside some ship,
Mm-hmm.
and I just walked, and the walls is all light, real bright light, and I don't see with my eyes, but I feel behind me there was the tall ones, the gray ones, to walk with me, and I just in my right side I just passed and there's the empty room with a black window. And I passed 1, 2, 3, the fourth door. I looked, and I saw a lot of kids. They all stand up and look at me. And they have all kind of age of the kids. They have a real kids, I don't know if they use diapers, but a real young kids. They play with the cubes. And they have another one, and I remember very well, it's one, they must be around 7, 8 years old, no more than that. And they have a yellow hair. What more surprised me, there was a girl that looked like a Native American, And I look at that girl, and she looked at me eyes by eyes, and it looked like I know this girl. I saw this girl before, and they all have a white robe. They have no shoes, and I remember the floor is between gray and real white blue, And after that, I just look at that kid. All them stand up, and except that real young kid with the cubes, and I just keep walking, and that's it. And unlike memory, and I don't remember anything. But I'm pretty sure that something must be happened in my life. When the meeting was over, and I was drive, and that come in my mind. I tell my ex-wife about that. When I look at the girls must be around 10 years old, not more than that. I just look at face to face, not above, not down. What I figure out is I must be at that age too,
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, there was an unlocked memory. Not, I don't know if they happen or not.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. But the fact is, this is ongoing. And so you have consecutive accounts when you're an adult that you do remember. It makes sense that some of that is locked into your childhood memories. When you were a kid and school got out around noon or so, you would hitch a ride home. That's pretty interesting.
Yes. That was in 1980. Well, because where we live, it's a small village, and we have just school until 6 degrees, and we must go for the big city for we be finished the high school. In the morning, we have a bus. The bus take us, but in the afternoon, we must be with the regular time bus, And the most of the times we have a school until 12:20 p.m. And we have just the bus 6 p.m. We have all that time
Yeah.
do nothing, And what we decide, not everybody, but someone, we go to the road and ask for a ride. Usually we go like 4 or 5, and when we was in the road, we break for two or something. But it don't be too many people for ask in the same place. And I was with a friend of mine. We had that kind of deal. We had 5 cars each one for ask for a ride. And who got the ride, kid stuff, sit down next to the driver. It looks like it's so important, for a kid. Well, was my turn, and I asked for a ride. I don't know how many cars they had when this happened. And there come a real nice black car, The car stops, and the window, we talk 80s in my country, and the car had that, there was not manual open the window. There was automatic already. And we are surprised because we never saw a car like that. And I look, and they have a man like between 75 years old. And they say, okay, come inside. And I'm sitting down next to the driver, my friend sits down in the back. When he starts drive, he look at me and ask me, usually they ask, well, where's the school going, blah, blah, that kind of question. But this guy doesn't do that. He said, look at me and say, what do you think about Bermuda Triangle? Like where this come from, this question, But he even doesn't let me answer. And I don't have too much for answer, but he even doesn't let. And they start talking about aliens, always talk about aliens, talk about pyramids, who build the pyramids, even talk about DNA. I even don't know what DNA is, that word. But he talked about hybrids. I don't know. At that time, I even don't know what this hybrid he talk about. And he just keep talking. The ancient aliens, they was here. They have a lab. They make cars. They were all that kind of stuff about aliens and UFOs. Well, normal when we go be at the village, they drop us in the road. But that guy didn't make difference. Even we doesn't say where we live. The guy just go drop my friend right in the front his house. He goes, he drive again, and they go drop me right the same place where I saw in the orange light with my friend Chandler. He just dropped, and that time he said, "Okay, don't forget reading these 3 books." I don't remember 2. I just remember the last one. There was UFO in Fatima because Fatima the center of sighting in Portugal, and they talk about death. And I said, okay, well, and I know I never go because we even have no library, nothing. It was tough for gather that book. After a while, I don't know, month, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, I don't remember. But I know there was in the same year. I was with another friend, and it was real different. There was my turn as for right, and there comes I can tell you the same car, but they come another car, black car. They stop, and when the window opened, I look fast where we want to go. I look at and and I think this is the same guy. They tell me all that stories about UFO, and the guy just come inside. But this time they have another one in the back seat of the driver, and my friend just sit down next to him, and I was sit down in the front with that guy. I forget. So the guys, both guys, just have all the clothes, it's all black. Well, when he started driving, the first thing he asked me is, you read the books? And I lied. I said, I have no time. I'm studying a lot, because I don't want to tell him my agent doesn't look because I don't go find that book. But that's no problem. The guy started talking again, talking. All everything they said the first time, he goes talk again all the way until my village. After that, he stopped in the front of the house from another friend because it's not the same one. Just drop him, and they go drop me in the front in the same place where he did before. And he turned to me and said, "Okay, one day we go meet again, and just go." Well, the most strange about all this, the second life is when I go inside, I just see the guy in the back just for a second. I don't remember very well, but in the morning, 8:00 in the morning, when we wait for the bus, they come that friend, and he described the guy in the back because I don't see what's the time in the front. He said, "Look, that guy's real strange." I go inside the car. I say, "Hello." He even doesn't look at me. He just look straight. And he did that. We talk about 22 kilometers. It's not too far, but it's 22 kilometers. And he said, he doesn't say nothing. And he described the guy. There was a guy around, he said maybe 23, 25 years old. He said he have a real cool sunglasses. And he said it's like cut like army, It doesn't look like he was in the army. But he said one the real strange there was the color of the skin. And this is all my friend told me. I don't see anything there. And he said there was so white. Like he said it looked like the waxes. He said the guy doesn't move nothing. You just say. And he told me, I look real, at him. Just figure out if it was a toy or was a really human being, because the guy doesn't move, just keep looking ahead. And that guy sits in the back of the driver. When we drop from the car, I say bye. The guy still don't look at me, doesn't say anything. But that's all this what my friend told me.
So your experience was that you had contact and interaction with the driver, and your friend, the person being who sat beside him, was totally not interested.
Yes, the target was me, it's not him. So I understand that, but it was fun because the guy is a little bit pissed off with another one because doesn't say nothing, doesn't look at him, doesn't.
Yeah, this is what I find fascinating. You had no clue about the men in black, and the description
no.
with the black car. Did they have hats, or they didn't wear hats?
The driver no, because I know because he has not. He has just a few hairs, so all bald.
Okay,
but
balding.
There was another one. I don't have about that to my friend. I don't know.
But he had the glasses.
Yeah, he had the glasses.
The cool glasses, your friend said.
Yeah. My friend said the cool. And the funny is because in the 80s, and the hair is not real that. So it's a long hair, and that guy's a short hair. This is why he looked, because normal 80s, with the long hair. It's not like army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely different. Okay.
But the thing that real pissed off with him is he doesn't say nothing to him.
Yeah, well, that is kind of rude. You're thinking they offered you a ride. Okay, so with that though, you said there were other times too, but those are the two that you remember the most.
Yeah, about the Men in Black.
Yes.
But and there was this thing is, I remember real well about the all the lights. But, until 2006, I never think, it's a Man in Black. Even in the movie, that story said, that was a right. We take 100 right. It's a real strange right, but that was a right, But in the one I met, the president of APO, that guy came nuts. He said, look, that guy is a Man in Black. I said, I don't know if it's a Man in Black or not. Matter of fact, he called me one day. There'll be a guest in the TV talk show in Portugal, 2006. And I was just thought out. There was three guys with me. And when the host asked me, I was the first. And I said, well, tell your experience. And I just talked about that light above the olive when the things begin. And that guy was there. I said, well, no. I want you to tell us about the Men in Black. I said, I can't believe they're going to tell this story now about the Men in Black. I know it's a strange, right? But I never think too much about that, right, before.
I think that was fantastic. I've had my own experience. The one that is more significant is the one where it was like a dream. And it was overnight. I'm sleeping half awake, half asleep, but I'm going through a pasture out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm standing out there with a friend, and I see this big black car, like a Lincoln, a very black car, drive up through the field, and then these three men get out. They're wearing hats. They have black suits, and one speaks. I don't remember if it was language or telepathic, but it said, "We need you to do what you agreed to do when you came here." And somehow I knew exactly what they were talking about. Technically, I have no clue what they are talking about, but apparently I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the same happened when I have 11, 12. When I started write the book, I was a kid, right after the life. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just take parts from the Bible, explain something, and I say, but I just write. It's just really, I don't know what I'm doing that time.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I come to the United States and I met the move for this is when I started to realize a lot of things like that. Well, I'm not nuts. Something happened with all this here with me,
Well, the other thing you have is the video that you shared, and that was from 2025, May of 2025. Do you have other videos, pictures that you've taken?
No. Just my friend Alex, he has two little. It's not about 20 seconds, but he filmed twice, two different lights in the sky, and he showed me when I was in Portugal, but not this time. Now he showed me about that movie. We can't see too much, but he said, "I know nothing is there when that lights appear, and it's not too big record." But even this one my son record that one. I was with him in the 25, and it was in Modesto, California.
And you said your other family members, like your daughter, have experiences now too.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when I have I know there was real missing times. One happened 1986, another one happened 2018. When the 2018 there was with my daughter. I can tell you both missing times if you want.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, 1986. Not yet. 19 years old, and I was with a friend. This happened March 14, 1986. We just ride a bicycle, and one of the guys said, "Okay, it's almost 7:00 p.m. Let's go dinner." And the story is the same. Let's go after the dinner. We go back in the club. Everybody do the same because it's a small village. And say, okay, we agree. But this is right close to the enter of the farm of my parents. And okay, I'm just, everybody left. When I go almost entering with the bicycle, I look at the sky and I saw the first moment I thought there was a star. But I was walking so many times that night and that day when they called me. And I thought, you start know the constellation, the Venus, and say, look, and I think this is not normal. That's the star. At that time I called star. What I did with the bicycle, I go around the farm of my parents, and I got another road. In that moment, I see, wow, this is not a star. This is there was a between orange and red light, and there was in my left side, and I just stopped the bicycle and look at that, and that thing come just appear in my right side. After a couple of seconds, appear again, go in another left side from the road and me. And after that, they go a right side, and for the fourth side, they will be just gone. And I look at the clock. I don't know. It's funny because I look at the clock. There was 7:45. I said 7:45. It can't be 7:45. I'm just go back again with the bicycle in the front of the entrance of the farm. Do again the same until where I saw the light. They take me about 3-4 minutes, and that's it. And that I know I'm still missing that list half hour at that moment, But like everything, I was just understand anything, missing time, nothing that. But 2018, there was a little different, and there was a Sunday. And I had my daughter. I got divorced already in that time. And I had that in the weekend, my daughter. And we go to my parents' house. We have a dinner. We play a little card. And I remember my sister said, okay, tomorrow I'll work, blah, blah, we must leave. And, okay, we got in the car, me and my daughter. So we go to my house. There was 29 kilometers from, it's in the city called Évora. That road, it's not a small road. If you have a car in the front, you must give you F road for the car and another, real high road. And we must pass in the middle. This is just for you to understand where they tell you after. You must pass in the middle of one village, not too big village. There must be around 600 people maybe. But you must go through, right in the middle. And after you pass the village, you have a cemetery in your right side, and my left side, we can see already the lights from the city where I was living before I came here. Well, we just got that road, and I look at the clock of the car, and there was 11 p.m. And I tell my daughter, it's 11 p.m., it's not too late. And she look at it because it's two people, and she look at the cell phone. Oh yeah, it's 11 o'clock. That is the last thing we remember. When you remember again, we are about a mile in the stop sign, and we just say, and I said, this is ever already the city, How come this happened? And we look at the clock, and it's 11:12. They passed just 12 minutes. I make that whole 29 kilometers, and in the middle of that village in 12 minutes. And my daughter turned to me and said, hey, Dad, we will be talking about all this. Where I don't remember we talked about anything. I don't know. Remember. And my daughter, Jeannie is the name of that small village. I even don't remember we passed the Jeannie at that village. And I was strange because why I just saw the light about a half mile of the city. If we can see about 12 kilometers, we can see already the light. And usually we stop in the little hill, and we stop over there, talk about the school. Well, when it's a nice night, we'll look at the sky and talk about UFOs and stuff like that. And my daughter asked me, well, we don't stop in that hill where we do normal. We're doing. They start so many questions, and I change the subject, and we just go drive home. But it's funny because I'm a slow driver. And when we go with my daughter after passing gap and some place real far away. She just left and she just said, hey, I hope it will be happen the same thing that happened that night, because they will be real fast. But this happened, and my daughter remember very well. Sometimes we talk about that.
There are other stories. You have incredible in terms of, interactions that you remember without anybody prompting you. What is the most outstanding, the biggest life-changing moment?
About the things that happened with me?
Yeah.
Well, they changed everything. They changed how you see the relation, how you see the planet. They changed, if you imagine our kids, we go every night, you go play. And now I'm stay at home, read the Bible, take stuff from the Bible, from the books I can take. They changed everything. They changed, one of the things when I saw the light and I start talk with the people and nobody understands, it's the time. What I learned in that night is we have not time. We have not present. We have not future. I'm sorry. We have not past. We have not future. We are in the present all the time. That means this talking I have with you is still gone. Our eye is like a multi-universe. We are many, many eyes, not just one. You understand me? This is one of the things I learned when I saw that light. Like the start the book and the talk about God. It's aliens and it's not aliens. I don't like call too much aliens. It's another civilization from another part of the universe, from another dimension. It's funny because everything I saw, even the mothership, everything, I even don't know nothing about that. I have no, that time I have no name. I can't tell the name for that thing happened until 1988 in the UFO.
Yeah, that I think is also fascinating because as we experience this and more people come forward with their stories, we learn a different language so we can all be kind of on the same page. Otherwise, when it happens to you and you don't have the popular media around you or other friends who are talking about it, there's no word that you can come up with out of the blue that describes the same thing that other people are seeing. And so until we are able to connect the dots, like you telling your story, we don't have a context for it.
Yeah. I like that movie, Close Encounters, with Steven Spielberg. I just saw this movie in 1988 here in the United States. I never saw that movie. I even don't know that movie. You can imagine that movie is 1977, I think. 11 years after when I saw that movie. Because sometimes the people think, oh, the guy saw TV, and so that's great. No, I don't know nothing about that. And this is what I really believe because I can't imagine things if I even don't know that they exist,
Yeah.
That's the things happen most of the time. Of course, now it's different because, and every time I have that call and I try to talk with them. But one thing from the beginner, except the paralyzed stuff, I never ever afraid. I never ever afraid walk to that place. I feel well go over that place. I never ever afraid. I want to tell a story about another thing. Is when my book comes, I think this is interesting to say. My first book, they come, like I said, October 2nd, 2010. October 11th, 2010, 9 days after. I'll take the car and I go a special place. There's it's a shelter ritual place, and I saw a lot of stuff over there, and my daughter too. And I just go over there with the book, in the Portuguese book, and I just go above that dome place, and I'm just sit down and look at the sky. I remember the sky is real beautiful. It's all stars, all dark, and this is about 9 p.m. In that moment, I just grabbed, there was a book already, but in Portuguese. I just grabbed the book and I asked, that sounds a little strange. I just asked, what am I going to do with this? All my life, you guys try to make me do this. What am I going to do with the book now? And, they don't take too long. I got 3 messages. I got 3 different messages. The first one, I got a name. It's the name of the guy. I know the guy. And I say, well, this guy even doesn't believe in UFOs and believe in anything. And this is 2010. And I really don't understand why that name. The funny is, I got divorced 2017, and I met somebody that she got a divorce 2007 too, and she was the ex-wife from this guy. It's a. I know that now this is doesn't make too much sense, but me after 7 years, I go met that woman. There was the ex-wife from that guy. I got another message, and they said the second message is that the book will go stop. It will be touching the four corners of the earth, of the planet. And we'll go seem like a human being. Oh, there must be a bestseller, something like that. But no, just now, a couple months ago, I started to understand what they try to tell me. It's like we do now. Like I did a lot of podcasts already. And this is what they try to tell is by the internet, by the podcast in the internet, I'll be touched in the four corners of the planet. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another one doesn't happen yet. He said, I just met some guy, a famous guy, a senior famous guy. And I remember I said, I think for myself, that's totally impossible. And they said the name. And they said, no, this is totally impossible. This guy's real famous, around the world. And that message came again in my brain. No, one day you go met this guy. Well, far as I know, I don't met yet, but it doesn't happen yet. But I have feeling one day I don't meet this guy.
What is your Instagram account?
It's DC point ALVES Alves.
Okay. There's another thing I want to ask you about. This has to do with a description a woman gave of you. She said she just happened to see an overlay or something else where she should be looking at you, but there was something in front of you, an image.
There was that my ex-girlfriend that I talked to before.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2008, I think. I was at home, and she come with she make a fish for lunch. And when we were in the kitchen, I was prepare the plate, and I look at her, and she look at me with a real open eyes. And I asked her, well, what happened? But they take a little second for she started answer. I said, it's nothing. Well, let's go eat. Well, we go eat. After that, she said, okay. She grabbed the cell phone and said, okay, I'm going to tell her what I saw. When I look at you in that moment, I don't see you. I see, she don't care about your clothes on. I mean, she is not that area. And she said, I look at you and I look not you. I saw you like a bug or something like that. I said, okay, we go sit down at the sofa, and I open the internet, and I go show her all different kinds of aliens. When she saw the insectoid picture, she said, "Oh, looks like this one. She doesn't know the name of that. She looks like that one." Well, after a while, I moved for another house, and for my son house, and I was with her in the bed. This is in the afternoon, and she started looking at me the same way. Opened the eyes real big, and I said, "What's happened? You feel something wrong or something?" No. But they take a second for him, and she just go out from the bed, and she just walked to the kitchen, and I did the same, and I saw her because I know something is wrong, and she got a cancer, and I think something happened with the sicker. And she said, you remember we talked about that bug another time? I saw in the bed that bug again. She called all the time bug. But this is different. That big eyes, black big eyes, they go all through to my brain. She said, it looks like a knife go to touching my brain, how pain I feel. And I have a message like, you must stop dating this guy. And this is why I just just walking from the bed, and this was it. She told me that that vision she has twice.
There's another person, his name is Jonas Elrod, and he did a film, maybe it's been 10 years now, but he had an Italian psychic take a look at him. The Italian psychic said he saw the image of an ET. There was an overlay of an ET, and that's what he described seeing him. So I think sensitives, people who are intuitive or psychic or aware, have this ability to see these overlays, and part of that imprint. I don't know what it means, but I do think you're not the only one. It's not a negative thing, but it could be an imprint of how you are recognized. Does that make sense?
Yes, no. One that thing surprised me is she talked about insectoid, the same when I did the regression, and she doesn't know about that. There was an insectoid in that regression, it's not regression.
Yeah.
And there was, it's funny because she can say anything, werewolf or something like that, but there was insectoid too,
Yeah, there's a theme and there's a pattern, and that's where it all comes together. This is something that's ongoing. The experiences haven't stopped. You have had recent encounters. The most recent one that you can remember?
Well, I have the one is the call, but for the someplace there was last February, but the recent one there was 2021. I was in Portugal. There was that night, the dinner and during the bed. When I go, I turn the light off and I go in the bed. And when I was in the bed, I look at they have a window, and under the window, I just look something is wrong, and they saw a light, a small sphere, jump through the wall and stop the window stay above the light. After that, second, there come another one. After second, there come another one. There was 3 lights, red lights, a real small one, and they start fly around to my bed. And I was, in that moment, I was already sit down in the bed and look at that light. And they go from my right side to left side. And that moment, they go up, down, and they start move again, and they don't stop where they come from. And that moment, they just all 3 together. They go through the wall and gone, And I remember I just go turn the lights on, look all the room, everything is okay, turn off, and just go sleeping.
I know. Okay, fine. Thanks for dropping by.
Because you are living with this thing all your life. When you see something, it's okay. And when you feel if they want to do something to you, they do. You can do anything with that.
I had one. There was the dog was kind of growling, and I thought it was because of the cat. I thought, because they have this little dynamic, and I thought, okay. So I was going to spy on them. I opened my eyes just barely so I could see, and then I realized there's a thing that's up by the ceiling, and it's about 6 inches underneath the ceiling, and it has between maybe 13 to 17 lights, red and green, and it's round. I'm looking at it and going, oh, that's what the dog's growling at, and it's there, and I'm thinking, I have to memorize this because I can't get a camera, and I know I'm seeing a UFO of some kind. I don't know what, it's not the kind of UFO you normally see. And then as I'm trying to focus, trying to imprint this, focusing really hard, it goes right through the window. It's on the other side of the mini blinds. I can see the lights. I thought, oh, yeah, you don't want your picture taken. Okay, fine. And I went to sleep.
Yeah. But what I figure out about that light, there must be like drawings or something like that. So I think it's really small one. And that light, my aunt and my uncle, they have that we can say close encounter with that light when they was a kid. And this is when I discovered that thing running in my family, because we have a dinner time with the family,
mm-hmm.
and we start talking about the book and about this, and my aunt said, and said to my aunt, Manel, the name of my aunt, you remember when we saw that light, that small light, they sometimes come through from the ceiling, sometimes comes from the wall, and then dancing around us. And they said this. I don't know. So many lights, but it's white lights. They said, well, I'm sorry, yellow lights. Then my uncle said, one of the things I was real curious is the many they are and the maneuver they doing. They never crash with each other. They were so. And they said it's so nice, they see that things around. After a while, they go. If they come from the ceiling, they go back from the ceiling. If they come through the wall, they go back through the wall. And we don't forget the walls in Europe. It's concrete.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not made by wood. It's interesting when you talk about your dog. I have experienced 1981 with that mothership and with the dog. 1981. I was with my father and we watched TV. Like I said, they have a farm. They still have a farm, and we have a dog. We have a cow. So we have pork. And that time, my father had about 4 or 5 dogs. But real, that kind of that they care about the cows. And they must be a real strong dog. And I was sit down and watch TV. We have just one channel with everybody to say. And in that moment, all the dogs start make noise, not just ours, but the neighbors too. And a little far away, for neighbors a little far away, all they make noise. And I tell my father, okay, I'll go see what's happening with the dogs. The time when I step out from the house, everything was quiet. Everything. Our dogs, all the dogs, cows. There was, it looks like, now I can't say the words. It looks like the time stopped. And
Yeah.
that moment, I looked up, and I saw that big cylinder, orange cylinder, real big. They look like they go slow, but that thing, they must be far away. And I just looked at it and I called my. But before, when I go step out, I call the dog. The dogs appear. I don't know where they go. And my dog answered me. And that is when I look at and I saw that orange cylinder. And I called my father. Hey, can I come outside? Come and see this thing. And my father come. Both we look at that for a while. And we thought, well, we'll talk about 5 minutes, maybe for see a UFO 5 minutes. It's too long time. And my father, okay, I'm go back. I go watch TV. And I sit about 1 minute or less than that, look at that thing, and I go back again. After a couple minutes, not too long, all the dogs make noise, the neighbor's dogs, the cows, and I said, go see what's happened. When I step out, I look at the sky, everything is gone, nothing, And one more time, the people, what they say now, looks like it's a mothership or something like that. One thing I know, and my father remember that, or remember because I died last night, is the time, how quiet the thing was. Because we have a lot of cows, sheep, we have horses, we have any noise. It looks like the time will stop in that moment,
Yeah.
And I believe that how big was the thing was. I believe somebody must watch see that thing too, or not, depends,
I think you're right about our time because my experience has actually been shifted to be able to see things differently than what we would normally experience as reality. One time they told me telepathically not to telegraph my experience, that it was different. I was shown the scenario of our town with only black and white and silver vehicles, no colors anywhere at all. If you tell somebody that, they look at you like you're crazy. But the fact that it was told ahead of time that I would be, prepared for it, and then to basically not act like anything was different, and to see this play out in front of my, what I consider everyday reality, is mind-blowing. It's like, wow, this can happen. Now, how did it happen? Was it just my own perception that was changed and everything was still the same and I just was unable to see it? Or was I shifted to a different dimension, a parallel timeline? I don't have the answers. Anything's possible, but it makes you reconsider what we think is real and our own interaction relationship with reality. And these things, I believe, are here to give us permission to question, permission to wonder, permission to explore in ways that we wouldn't have done before. And your book, that's what you're inviting people to do with Gods or Civilization from the Stars. You're looking at the religion, the background, the mythology, all of that, and trying to figure out, well, how does this fit and how do we fit? So it's an invitation for people to start thinking differently.
Yeah. And, sometimes when we get talking about that, and I feel the people, you see that, we don't see. But, it looks like right now I appreciate I'd be contacted up here. I really happy with that. But before, I said, I don't make money with that. I just said, I want to tell the people what will happen with me. If you believe or not, it's just not my problem,
Yeah.
But one of the questions all the time I ask, why me? This is where I ask, because I know we have thousands, million people have the contact. But in that time, when I was a kid, I said, why me? Why this thing happened to me, I was just a simple kid, play soccer and play with another kid, and that's it, There must be a reason, and I believe the reason, there must be DNA, there must be our power we have in we don't say spirit, but energy. We have different, I don't know, but there must be one reason.
I also think that you're curious, you're open-minded, you question, you wonder, you're researching, you're looking for more contacts and connections. You have that energy of, wow, what happened? Well, what's that about? And I think that's the open door.
And now what happened with me, now they start happening with my daughter, and this will make me understand something must be real. It's about us, about our line, family line,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so she won't be afraid. It's a support system that helps give itself permission to be okay outside the common view of reality, the consensus view of reality. You have to have, in some way, a support system that says, okay, you can think outside the box and you're not going to suffer. you're going to find out the wonder that happens here behind the scenes.
We will see in the future what this may. But one thing, when I was young, my mother tried like Jehovah Witness or Mormon or something like that. So try to convince me the different way, religion stuff, and they never can. And the most of the time I have more questions than they can give me the answers. I was read the Bible, of course, in different way, but I don't know, a lot of times, so for write the book, you must have practice from the Bible. And it's real hard when you go ask you, okay, why this happened? Why that in that place happened? And of course they start have no answers for the questions. I saw in the YouTube one documentary about they discovered someplace in Italy where they think there must be Jesus. They buried the Jesus over there, and I think, look, why the church still lie about that? Because why they try to tell the people about with the archaeology stuff, try to tell the people about that. If you're in the Bible, in the hand of I don't know if it's Matthew, but when the books tell the Jesus is gone because they come alive and they pick them up. They can't find anybody, you understand me? Because the Jesus is not here.
Is there anything you'd like to add? And I'm going to put the links in the description for the show. Anything else you'd like to add?
I always give advice for the people. If you have, don't be afraid. If you have a contact or something like that, just talk with them and ask something, because I just talk about my experience, and like I said, just to paralyze that I was afraid. Another thing that was real nice. Matter of fact, one night in the Chromax place, I have a so beautiful experience with alien Ibis, and the spirit, and somebody was died a couple of years ago. That feeling, you be there. If heaven exists, I think that is the feeling because it was so peaceful, and it was real nice. There was real quick, but it was nice. I never forget that experience I had.
What is the experience?
I was on that call, and I go to that Chromax place. They have that Chromax have 33 stones, and I was just there. And that moment, I saw next to me the shadows. There was two. I think there was two shadows real close to me. By the figure of the shadow, they look like Grace, the tall one. In that moment, in my left side, I saw a yellow light open, not too big, about 1 meter beyond. Inside them, there was a woman, and that woman, she was passed away about 8-10 years ago, and she just looked at me, and I looked at her, and she smiled, and all that light is gone. That yellow light is gone, but it was a wonder. And that moment, I looked from our right side, and that being they still over there. But there was the nice and beautiful feeling. They turned upside because that moment, that being I have that in my mind. They said, "You must go, get out of here right away." And I just walking away, and I just start my car. When I start, I look at the mirror of the car, and that two beams, it was between the big stones from the Chromax, and I just drive away. But the funny thing is you're feeling good going that place, and after a while you have that like worry or something. Okay, you must leaving. The one, I don't know why, but because I'm leaving,
Yeah.
and I will stay.
I think part of it is you can only handle so much. Our physical body can handle so much. And then, you've had the experience. So, okay, now it's time to go. Let's not overstay the welcome.
Because sometimes they said, okay, don't look back. Just walk,
Yeah.
just walk.
Yeah. Your Instagram account, there are people who are interested in your story, and this is one way to access it.
It's a DCE point. That's a point. ALVES. Alves.
DCE.ALVS. Instagram.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me.
Again, Antonio Alves. His book is Gods or Civilizations from the Stars. He was told during one of his encounters with what we'll call the Men in Black to look up 3 books. He could only find the one. So he did his research on Fatima, and what he found out is fascinating. We'll continue with that in the second interview.